morning, everyone, and welcome to this course of HTML and CSS. I'm Sanana Singh, and today I'll be your mentor for this course. So let's get started. Let me introduce myself a little. I'm a mentor, an author, a student, and a coder. A few of my hobbies are swimming, cycling, and above all, programming. You know why? Because I love the outcome of my code. I love how my output looks, and I guarantee after this course, you will too. Also, this course is sponsored by Acadcheck, so please do check out the website and the other courses. As I said, website. Have you ever questioned what is a website? Well, a website is a series or a collection of web pages. Like this is the website of Google. Also, all these web pages and websites are identified by one common domain name. And they are located, all these files of all these websites are located in one common web server far, far away. There are many websites on the World Wide Web, but a few notable websites are Google, Facebook, Amazon, Wikipedia, and Acadcheck. Also, all the websites can be found on the World Wide Web. The World Wide Web is like a house, and the internet is like the electricity that runs it. Both are interdependent on each other. Now, as I mentioned here, common domain name. What is a domain name? What is a domain name? Well, a domain name is, to start with, the name of your website. Like this is the Acadcheck website. The domain name is acadcheck.com. And it also works as the address of your landing page. So when you write the domain name, the first page you land on is the landing page. And for Acadcheck, it's this. Also, it works as an address for all the web pages linked to the website, such as home, Sanana, and brochure. And you will also notice that something like /home comes in the link when you press on home. Now, if you want to register your domain names, you have two conditions. Of course, you have your choice of name, but also you're limited by availability. What I mean is, if you are getting a package and a person has to deliver it, and he or she has to deliver it, two packages of two entirely different persons, but to the same address, won't he or she be confused on which package to deliver to whom? Just like that, if two domain names are same, then if you write the domain name, then won't the computer be confused on which website to open? So you're limited by availability. What I mean is, you can only use the domain names which are not used yet. For example, if you're a tourist, this is the city you land in, New York City. So the first place you land in is your landing page or the New York airport or train station based on your mode of transport. Then you can go to any place like Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens. These are your web pages. And you can register your domain name, of course, as New York City, but you're always limited by the two conditions. Do you notice something strange or peculiar about the name New York City? This is an open question. You may answer in chat. Well, as you may notice, there's a new before the York. Don't you think York City is a perfectly beautiful name for a city? In the year 1622, the Portuguese arrived at new land. They took it as their home, but for reasons best known to them, they surrendered this land to the Englishmen in the year 1664. Now, the Britishers used to live in York City, which was in England. And so as they were far away from their home, they felt really homesick. And so they wanted this new place to feel homely. And their idea of homely was giving this place a homely name. Like York City, of course. But as there was already a York City in England, wouldn't the people be confused on which was the original York City? So they couldn't do anything else but add new to the York City. And today we know it as New York City. Now, how to publish a website? As we have already made a website, you are the only person who can see the website. Now, publishing it means putting it in a place where everyone in the world can see it. This is a three-step process. First of all, you have to create your website. You cannot publish your website if you have nothing to publish. So you have to create your website. Then you have to register your domain name. And of course, there are the two conditions, your choice, and you're limited by the unused names. And then you can host or publish your website. And as you may have seen in the domain name of a cat stick, it's not just a cat stick, it's a catstick.com. So there are also suffixes like .com, .edu, .net, .info to the domain names. Now, there are also many websites from which you can buy a domain, like Google Domains, GoDaddy, Name.com, etc. There are many. How to publish a website? Let me explain again. So, this is your website which you have created. Now, you buy a domain, and that domain file is saved as a file in a server or a computer which is far, far away. Now, you can access the website on the World Wide Web after it is in the server and published. And when someone accesses it, they can see it on the screens. Now, back then, there was only one screen or the desktop. But now it is a little complicated to show websites on every different screen because there are different sizes of screens. Because now there are laptops, there are mobiles, and there are tablets. And I'll be teaching how to show the same content clearly on different sizes of screens further into the course. These are also the top 10 web hosting companies in India from where you can buy a domain. Now, we have learned this much. Do you think this is all? Have we finished the journey? No. We are still at the edge and we are a lot of possibilities ahead of us. We still have a lot to learn and we are just beginning. Do you think there is only one way to approach HTML and CSS or there are many ways? Of course, there are many ways. So let's start this session. And first, let me tell you what we are not going to learn. Which ways are we not going to take? You're not going to learn how to host a website or how to create your own domain. We're not going to learn how to make another Google or Amazon because these are just not websites. These have a lot of different kind of programming behind them. This is web development. I've already told you what server is, the computer far, far away, which contains the file of your domain, and what client side is, the front side, which every user can see in a website. Now, everything you see on a website is the front end part of the website. But when you search something on Google and you get the results, you may not appreciate it as it happens only in a few seconds. And it may have happened, but you think it's happened in your computer in a few seconds. But what if it happened in another computer far, far away? Because it did. And that computer is known as a server. And just to clarify, we are only going to be learning about client side. And that too, HTML and CSS. Now, which paths are we going to take? Well, we are going to learn how to write basic HTML code and create a website using them. And we are also going to learn how to add colors, pictures, and many other elements to make your website beautiful using HTML and CSS. And we are going to learn how to write basic CSS. Also, let me just show you what you can make, what your end result will be after this course. This is my profile website, and you can also make a website just like this after attending this course. I'll show you this website in detail. I'll get back to you on this. So why do we need HTML? First, let's begin with what is HTML. HTML is a front-end language which is used to make web pages. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. As you can see, this name is consisting of two different words, hypertext and markup language. Hypertext means that a document that contains a link which can jump to another document, lead to another document, and jump to another place in this very document. And the latest version of HTML is known as HTML5. A markup language is a way in which computers speak to each other or express their thoughts to each other or talk back to us and tell us how they'll control the text that is processed and presented or displayed on your screen. And for all this, we are going to use two things in HTML, tags and attributes. But why use HTML? There are many front-end languages like CSS, JavaScript. Why use HTML in particular? Well, HTML is easy to learn and it assembles many elements into one to create a web page. And HTML is free. And like many other programming languages, it requires no such paid plugin. It is also supported by all browsers. HTML can be easily used or used with other computer languages like CSS, JavaScript, and you can write HTML even in good old Notepad if you don't want to install anything else. How to write or code in HTML? We may have learned what is HTML and we have to code in HTML to create a website, but where will we code in HTML? We can't just open a Word file and code in it and get our output. There are specific places where you can code in HTML, and these are called IDEs. IDE is a short form for Integrated Development Environment. Integrated Development Environment means an integrated environment in which we can develop or code in. It is like a software which has all the tools required for coding in one place. Simple, right? Now, there are many IDEs for HTML. I'll name some of the famous ones. There's VS Code, Sublime Text 3, Notepad++, and PyCharm. We are going to be using VS Code for this course. But if you don't want to install any additional IDE, feel free to use the Notepad that is already present. Now, to use VS Code, as I said, you'll have to download it. So let me tell you how. You'll have to just open your browser and enter this link. I'm sending this link in the chat. And please copy paste this into your browser and download. After reaching this website, you will get an option to choose your software and version of software. And then you can download. After that, you'll get a page in which you'll have to choose your options of your IDE or your application and how it'll affect your computer. And then that's your choice. And then your IDE is all ready to go. I'll be giving you 10 minutes download. And after that, we'll start with a practical hands-on learning. I'm giving you a 5 minutes break to download VS Code. And if you don't want to, you can use Notepad. And after this, I'll demonstrate my website, which you'll also be able to make by the end of this course. Has everybody downloaded VS Code? I'll start with demonstrating a website I made using HTML and CSS, which you can also make. This is the Acadstick screen. And as I taught you, this is the website. And these are the homepage. So when we click on Sanena, we can reach the homepage. We can reach the web page. I'll go through the website, and you'll also be able to make a profile website like this. So this is let me explain now. This is the Acadstick logo, and I've inserted a link into it, using which you can even open Acadstick website. And these are the text elements, and these are the image elements in the body. And I've written what all tools and techniques we are going to cover in this course here, which we'll be getting to soon. And this is a contact form, which I'll be teaching you to make, in which you can input your email, message, and you can send us the details to contact us. And this is a footer in which I've inserted links into all the different images through which you can contact me on my different social media accounts. I'll demonstrate my LinkedIn to you. And it's opening, as you can see. Now, let's get on with the hands-on practice and the practical class. As me have taught you that you will have to code in HTML to make a web page, but how to code in HTML? What is the syntax or the grammar? Also, you'll also be getting a certificate of completion after completing this course. And your website will be hosted on the Acadstick website. So let's get on with the hands-on practice. Open up your VS Code or Notepad. I'll be opening up both so that I can show in both. So I hope you have opened up VS Code or Notepad. Now for VS Code, go to File tab in the taskbar and open New Text File. After doing so, you have to press on Select a language and select HTML. Okay, and this is Notepad. So first, we'll be learning what the syntax is. To code in HTML, you have to use tags, which are like the greater than and smallest sign, as you may have learned in maths. You have to join these two to form a diamond, or like the brackets form an oval. Now, inside this is the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. In the closing tag, there is also a slash. And there are two kinds of slashes. So to not get confused, use the slash whose top points towards the text. Now, for example, you have written hello here in between the tags. Will the computer understand what to do with this hello? No, there's more to do with tags. The computer is a very dumb machine, and you will have to give it clear, precise instructions. There are also keywords you have to input into tags to make the computer understand how to display hello. If you want to display hello as a heading, you'll enter H as the keyword. Also, just inputting H won't help. There are 6 sizes in heading, 1 to 6, while 1 is the greatest and 6 is the smallest. So you'll have to go with H1 to H6. Let me just demonstrate to you how the output will look. First, I'll do in Notepad. And also, this is how you'll write the code, and this is how the output will look. Also, please write each and every line of your code, as it will really help you into getting the codes into your finger memory, and do not copy paste your own codes. This will be the opening tag, and always write the opening tag and the closing tag first. Do not forget the closing tag. Slash is required in the closing tag. H1 for the biggest size of heading.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt. If you are typing your codes, we are not able to see your screen. We are seeing the PPT only.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to share my entire screen. I'm so sorry. Yes. My notepad. Now, I recommend writing each and every piece of your code and not copying it. Now, write the please do it alongside with me to learn. Now, H1, and then write your opening and closing tags first before writing the text in between, to make sure you don't forget to put the closing tag, and never forget to put the slash. Now in between, you can write heading 1. I'm going to write heading to make sure that you can compare in between the sizes equally. H2, and I'll be showing you the output after writing. Now, to get the output, you'll have to save the file. Save as. Now, it'll probably be saved as a .txt format. So you'll have to change it to all files and save it in .html format. I'm saving it in my desktop. You can save it wherever you want to. Class1.html. Yes. So save the file now. And I'll show you the output. Yes. So class 1. And as you can see, this is the heading 1 and this is the heading 2. We'll be doing it side by side, and we'll start by coding in VS Code from next class.
Ma'am, will you please once again show which file did you open slowly, a little bit slowly? Which file did you open and from where?
Sure.
And how to save, and once again that?
Yes, I saved this file using save as in my desktop, and I named it as class 1. Now, if you save it right now like this, then it will be saved as a text file. So you have to go to save as type and save it as all files. And then you have to write .html to change the format of the file to HTML file. Save. As I already have an HTML file named class1, which is just saved, I'll have to replace it. Now, as you can see, I went to my desktop and I opened this file. And it's blank because I saved this as blank. Now I'll write the heading in front of you. H1 and closing tag and heading 1. I'm doing it alongside. Now you have to save the file and then reload. This is the heading 1. Now to show you the difference, I'll write heading 2. Also, please do this alongside me. I'll show you all the 6 sizes. Now I've written all 6 headings and I've saved my file. This is heading 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. As you may have noticed, heading 1 is the biggest and heading 6 is the smallest. And it gets smaller and smaller the way you increase this number. Now, usually the heading is the main text in a website, and usually it denotes the starting of a topic. And so any other text than the heading is denoted as a paragraph. Paragraph. This is the opening tag of the paragraph. The keyword for the paragraph is T. Now, there are some properties associated with heading that come with it, such as that it's bold. Now, you'll notice that paragraph isn't bold. P, the keyword, then /P. And then I'll write paragraph. And I'll save the file. Now, reload your HTML file and see. This is how a paragraph looks. Now, do you have any questions? Any doubts? If you do, please write your doubts or questions in chat. And I'll continue now. Now, I'll be teaching you about attributes so that you'll understand what I mean by code the value of attributes. This is the image tag. The image tag is used to insert image into HTML file. Now, it requires a link for the image to be displayed. You have to give the link of an image to display it. The SRC attribute is an attribute here, and the value of SRC is the link. SRC means source. Now, the value of source or the link of the image file is quoted in double quotes, and the values of attributes should always be quoted in double quotes. Now, let's try this ourselves. Also, there are some tags, as you may have noticed, there are some tags that do not require a closing tag, like image tag or img. It does not require a closing tag. img, now that attribute src equals to double quotes, and in between that, write the link for the image you want to input. For now, we'll be using a cat stick logo, which I've saved into my computer, but I'll be showing it to you in Google so that everyone can copy it off Google. This is the cat stick logo. Now, right click on it. You'll get two options of copying link address and copying image address. As we want to input the image, we'll copy the image address. Now, you have to save the file to get the output. Then reload. And there you go. The image is right there. Now we have learned to write and put images into HTML files. What about links though? As you may have seen, in many websites, there are different kinds of links that are input into text or images. And when you click on those images in text, you reach a different website. So that's what we'll be learning right now. Link tag. Now, link tag is used to add links into text and images. And when the text and image is clicked, the page or the website, the link leads to.
And just would you give us a minute? Let us finish this up to
Yes.
the
Oh my God.
picture tag.
Yes. And you can use any image you want.
Also, it would be kind enough if you copy and paste the codes which you have done till now in the chat, so that those who have been a little slow on typing can also copy paste in their uh, notepads and see the outputs in their own computer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Someone has asked for how to get the image link. Can you just show once again on the screen how you got the image link there?
Sure. As I said, so that everyone can access the image link, I got it off Google. Just Google a cat's tech logo. ACADSTECH. I'll send the image link as well, image address in the chat. Image address. Yes. Please use this link, or you can actually use any image you want, but please do use this link so that I can clear your doubts if anything wrong is going on.
Okay, ma'am, we have done. Thank you. We can go ahead.
Okay. Sure. We'll be going ahead with link tag. Now, in link tag, there's the anchor tag, A, which is used to anchor the link. The A is the keyword. Let me show you. A, and then the attribute using which you have to input the link is hypertext reference, or href. And as I told you before, the value of every attribute should be quoted in double quotes. So the link should also be quoted in double quotes. Now there's the link, and we'll be skipping the title part because it's not that important. So have we done till now? I'll be sending the link I'll be using in the chat. I'll be using the Acadstick link. Yes. So I've copied the link and I've pasted this in the chat. So now close this, and also a tag requires a closing tag /a. But as I said, you need to input the link into a text or an image. So between these, the closing and the opening tag, you have to input an image or a text. So let's input a Acadstick as the text first. I hope everyone has done till now. Now save and open this. Now there's the text, and now open. Click on open link in new tab. As you can see, the website has opened. I'll give you a minute to do this yourself.
How to differentiate between a normal text or a kind of paragraph text and a link?
Well, paragraph text is like normal text, and headings are a little different because they are bold. So you can differentiate between paragraphs and headings because headings are usually bold. And you can differentiate with linked text by it will usually be blue if there's no extra style added on it. And if there is, then you will have to go hover over it. And if your cursor changes into this hand-like cursor, that means it's a link. But usually, if it looks like this, a little blue and underlined, then it's a link. But just to clarify, hover your cursor over it. I hope everyone has done till now. I've also sent the link in the chat. So now, as I've already told you, you can input links into both images and text. I've taught you how to input the links into text right now, right here. Now, let me tell you this. Anything you put in between the closing and the opening tags of link or anchor, the link will be inserted in that. So a cat stick is simple text, so we can just input it here. You can even use paragraph, but only a cat stick is fine. But what if you want to input an image? Well, how do you input an image? As I just told you here, you will use the image or img tag and you will use the source attribute. But how to input a link into an image? You'll have to put this whole thing in between this instead of a cat stick. Let me show you how. A and then href for the link. We'll be using the same a cat stick website link. And paste. Now, put the closing tag /a and in between put the image img. Now put the source attribute src and as the value has to be quoted in double quotes, put the value. Put the link of the image. Copy. I hope everyone has done till now. I'll be sending the image link I've used again in the chat.
Ma'am,
yes.
Can we have seen that we can use image from internet using that link. But what if I have the image on my computer? I want to use an image from my computer.
Okay, for that, I'll show you. You can go to the image you want to input, like, let me show you here. This. Now, you'll have to press, in Windows at least, you will have to press Shift and then right click on it. When you simply right click on it, you won't get any option as copy as path. But when you right click, when you press Shift key and then right click on it, like this, after pressing Shift key, you will get this option called copy as path. Now, when you copy it as path, this will be the result. This is the path of this image in my computer. Has everyone understood how to copy this, how to use an image already in your computer?
We copy but where to paste it?
Will you? Yes, I'll be sure. Now, let me use the image tag again. Enter. img SSC. You will have to do the same thing as the link. This will act as the link, but it will be from your computer. So img, then the src or the source attribute. Then the value of the source attribute should be the path. Also, the path already has double quotes in it, so don't put double quotes from before. Or it will show an error because of 2 double quotes on both sides. Now close it and I'll show. File, save. Now this is the image from my computer. No, from Google. This is the image from my computer because it's a new image, and this is the image with the link in it. I'll show you how to input link into images again. Yes. So you input, as I said, this is the simple text you input, and the link will be inside this text now after running the code. But to input the link into images, you'll have to put an image in between, because whatever is in between, the link will be input into that. So href attribute hypertext reference. And then I'm going to be using the path from my computer. This, and it already has double quotes. Wait, yeah, no, sorry. The href has to have the link of the Acadstick website. Let me copy the link. Now, paste it here, because when the image will be clicked, that will be the place or the website you'll reach. Now close the opening tag and write the closing tag /k. In between, you want an image, right, to have the link. So you'll have to input an image. For that, as I showed above, you'll have to use image tag, img tag, then source attribute or src. Then,
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt.
yes,
We are writing all tags in one line. It's getting very long, confusing. Can we split the tags in 2 lines?
yes. If it is really long, you can split the tag in 2 lines like this, and anything in between will come inside the tag. But if the code is really small, I recommend doing it in 1 line so that it doesn't get messy. Now, img src, and as I'm copying the path from my computer, it will already have double quotes, so I won't be using that. And then close the image tag. Don't get confused in between the link tag and the image tag, and don't forget to close the image tags. Now save this and reload. Now this is the image from my computer in which I've input the link. So open link in new tab. As you have seen, the cursor changes. It changes into a hand when I hover over this, and the website has opened. Voila. Now we have learned till here the link tag. Now, when someone who doesn't know anything about HTML is reading your code, how will he or she understand what you have done? What is going to be the output of your code? Well, you can actually comment your code. You can put notes into your code. The difference between normal text and comments are that comments are the text that only humans can read. Computers cannot, and so they are not shown in the output. Let me show you how to write a comment. So there is like image, there is only one tag for this, the opening tag. Now you open it and you close it. Now there's first of all an exclamation mark and 4 dashes. That is all. Now anything right in between these 2 dashes and these 2 dashes is a comment, is marked as a comment. This is now. Let's save it and see what change it does. And there is no change because, as I said, this all is code and you're communicating with the computer while programming. And so the computer can read this code, but comments, only a human can read comments and the computer cannot. So this is not displayed in the output.
Ma'am,
Now,
people have not understood how to use the image and use that as a link. So will you once again showcase
no,
the image and
no,
link part, please?
yes. This is the link. This is the link tag, the A or anchor tag. And then this is the href attribute. It is as simple as this. Now, this is I've written the opening tag and the closing tag. Now, what is the link we want to lead the image to? We want it to lead to a catstick website. Okay, so let me copy the link for the catstick website. You can get it from Google. I'll send it in the chat again. Yes. Now, this is the href, the link of the website. It will lead to the image. Now, how do you input an image? You input an image using this simple img tag in source attribute. You just have to do that in between these two opening and closing tags of anchor. I've put spaces so that you can see clearly. img tag, and then source attribute. Now, don't get confused. Usually, people get confused in between href and source. Href is for links and source is for image. If you ever get confused, you can try both for the tags. Now, the source for the image will be the catstick logo. You can copy from here as well. Copy image address. Now, I input the image address here. And let's see, yeah, I've put the in. I've closed the tag as well. Now, inside, let me explain. This is the anchor tag. This is the closing anchor tag. And in between it is the image tag right here. So whatever is between the anchor tag, the closing anchor tag and the opening anchor tag, the link is input into that. So now that we have input an image in between here, the link will be inside the image. I'm going to just not have this code so that you won't get confused in between all those images we have. Now, save the code and reload. As I have gotten this image of Google, it's pretty small. So as you can see, the cursor changes to hand, and then you get an option like open link in new tab, and it opens us up to the website. Are there any more doubts?
Someone is asking for the shortcut, how you open the clipboard box instead of
Okay.
you just control V. How are you doing that?
Okay, simply the clipboard box has everything you've previously copied. When your computer is opened, after you put it to sleep, it all gets erased. Okay, I don't know about Mac or anything else. I'm only talking about Windows. You press on the Windows logo key and you press on V and you get the clipboard. If you have never accessed the clipboard before, you'll get an option to enable clipboard setting.
What was that, ma'am? Windows key plus?
Windows key plus V. I'll put it in the chat. Yes, sure. Windows logo key and V. Only for Windows. Now, we have learned till inputting the link into image and tag and commenting. Now, has everybody understood till now? If you haven't, I can explain again. I think everybody has. So can we get along with it? Okay, sure. Let me teach comment again. I'm removing the previous comment because you may get confused with all this. Hmm. One minute. So commenting. Now I'll explain. A comment is something that only humans can read and the computer cannot. Like there is this paragraph. Now, when you input P into the tags, the computer reads it as a paragraph tag. So the computer displays this text, anything written in between those tags as a paragraph. But whenever you write something in between the comment tags, the computer cannot read them. These are just comments or notes that only the humans can read while reading through the codes. So first, also like image tag, this only requires the opening tag. There are a few exceptions in tags that only require an opening tag, no such closing tag, like image and comment. Now you open the opening tag and close the opening tag. In between, you put one exclamation mark. You start with an exclamation mark and put 4 dashes. And you type your text in between the 4 dashes, which means after the 2 dashes and before the 2 dashes. This is a comment. Now, let me show you the difference. Now, I have written as a paragraph. This is a comment. Now, let me save this and I'll show you the difference. Reload. Now, as you can see, only the paragraph has appeared and the comment hasn't. This is because the comment is only read by the human and not by the computer. So it is not displayed in the output. Now, as I've taught you how to write these basic things like headings, comments, let's learn how to design them or how to style them, how to mark something or how to highlight something. Let me show you. For example, inside this paragraph text, everything which is within the paragraph text is, of course, a paragraph. Now, I'll show you alongside. Now, you can also do this. You can just write mark. If you have long paragraph texts in which only you want a certain part to be highlighted, you can use mark in between the paragraph text. Otherwise, mark the paragraph. I'll show you what I mean. It's a little complicated when I edit. Yes, so you have opened the paragraph and close the paragraph tags. Now, in between, write mark or whatever text you want to highlight. Now, in this, if there is only a little part you want to highlight, you can just mark it from outside. No, you can mark it from inside if there's only a little part of the whole paragraph you want to highlight. For example, there's more to this paragraph. Mark, below mark, there is text with HTML. But you don't want to highlight text with HTML. Then we only mark the mark text. So mark, this requires a closing tag and slash mark. Let me save this. Let me show you. See, this mark is now highlighted. Also, some may be wondering how to change the, yes?
Sorry to interrupt. Would you please zoom the screen a little bit so that
Sure. Which screen? Notepad or
the Chrome, because the text is coming very small in the bottom.
Okay. Is it visible now?
It's good now. Thank you.
if there is a long paragraph and you only want to mark a part of it, you can use mark in between the paragraph text tags. And as I showed before, you can not write your code in one single line, and you can write it in between by entering. Now, if you only want to mark a little part, you can just mark and slash mark. You can also mark a heading. Let me show you. Write heading in between the mark. Heading 1. Save it. Oh, wait, it's not getting marked. I think that happens with background color. Paragraph. And save. I think the issue is I use the paragraph inside the mark. Yes, as you can see, the heading has been marked. Heading 1. Now, as you've learned to highlight, I'll show you how to change the color of the highlight. Change the color of the highlight, you cannot change the color of the highlight using mark, but you can change the color of the highlight using background color. You can choose any custom color, and I will be showing you how to do that soon. Now, how to underline some. Yes.
Would you repeat this highlight part once more?
Sure. Now, in highlight, you can highlight some text. Like when you have some important text you want to highlight in a book, you use a highlighter. Well, on computers in HTML, you can use the mark tag to highlight text. It is usually yellow in color, the highlight. Now, as I've shown you, if you want to highlight a paragraph text, then you open and close the paragraph tag. And in between, you write mark. Let's input into new line to make it neat. Mark, then closing mark tag, slash mark. Never forget to put the slash. Now, let's do highlight. Highlight, then save it. Also save your code, or the output won't be displayed. Now reload and highlight, as you can see. Also use the highlight only in between the paragraph tags, or it won't work. Has everybody understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll move on to underline. Now, instead of marking, if you want to underline some important text, you can use the U tag. Simply remember U by underline first. Now, U. Now, it also requires a closing tag. Slash U. Now, in between, write underline. And only the opening and the closing tags of U are required. Save. And go to the Google HTML file. Open in the browser. As you can see, this text is underlined now. Has everybody understood? Now, if everybody has understood, we can move on. Okay, I can see everybody has. Now,
One request.
Yes.
We all have seen this in Notepad. Can you show us the same code? No need to spend time typing there. You can copy and paste also if you wish to.
Yes.
Can you show us the same in how it works in VS Code?
Sure. I thought of using VS Code since next class because not many, like few may not have downloaded it. Okay. So I've copied. This is these are the 6 headings. This is the one paragraph. The
Also,
image.
along with that, if you explain why should we use VS Code? Like if it works in Notepad, why to take this pain of installing VS Code? What is the benefit?
Sure. Well, VS Code is an IDE. It has all the developer tools needed. Let me just simplify it a little. You also let me like when you write the code in uh, like this, it is a little simpler because, for example, when you write P here and you forget to write the /P, and your code may go wrong, and it's a long code. You have problems finding the code which is wrong. Here, there's autocomplete. And if you have done something wrong while saving, an error comes and it shows you which line is wrong. Also, if you want to differentiate between all the tags and the attributes and the values and a comment, you can do that because of the color encoding. For example, the values are orange, the tags are blue. Like it's easy to differentiate. It's really easy to differentiate. And when you forget in a long code to add the closing tag, it's there's already autocomplete, and you can find out which wrong which line you have done the wrong, written the code wrong, because it shows you.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, those are just a few of the advantages I can tell right now. Now, I'll be using only Notepad in this class because from the next class, we'll start using VS Code. So I hope you will download VS Code over this week. Now, has everybody understood underline? Now that everybody has understood underline, I hope we can go on with bold. We can also make text bold. Headings are already bold. But what if you want to make paragraph bold? To do so, you'll have to use D. The opening tag, D, and then the closing tag, /B. And then in right, you can write anything that you want to make bold, like BOL, bold. Now, save the document. And if you want to see the difference, like I'll show it you how it works on paragraph. Save. As you can see, this text is now bold. Has everybody understood?
Yes, ma'am.
If somebody hasn't understood, you can just tell me. I'll explain again. It's no problem. Italics now. How to italicize text or slant text? Make a text slanted. Well, it's as simple as bold and underline. It's I. Opening tag I, closing tag /I, and italics. Now file and save. Reload. As you can see, italics has come here. This is all in one line, so you can differentiate. Underline, bold, and italics. Now, if you want it to be in different lines, you can try this. BR for break line. When you use BR, maybe they'll go in different lines. As you can see here, they're in different lines now. So BR is used to separate things and make them go in different lines. So after put the underline is already in the first line, we want to put bold and italics in the second and third line. So we'll use bold BR before bold to break line and BR before italics. Okay. Has everybody understood till here as well? Yes, you can.
Yes. Can we
I'll
do
show you how to
the
use all
same
three.
word, bold and
Now, in a paragraph, underline slash underline. Then that bold slash bold. In that italics slash italics. If this works, we can also try to mark it. Text. Now, save. Reload. See, it's bold, it's underlined, and it's italics. Amazing, right? Let's try to mark it now. Mark slash mark. See, it's marked, it's highlighted, it's italics, it's bold, and it's underlined. Yes, you can try all four styles on the same text. Is the doubt clear? Is the screen visible?
yes, ma'am.
Sure. So let's get on. Now, how to change the font color? Like, as I have already taught you two attributes before now, the source attribute and the href attribute. Now, I'll teach you about the style attribute. Style attribute, as the name suggests, is used to like change the style. And then in the style, the value of the style has to be, of course, quoted and double quotes. In this, there's also some syntax. For style attribute. Style attribute, you'll need to put the property, which is the color property, the property you want to change or style, which is the color property right here. Then you'll have to put colon. Then what is the value of color property? You want the color of this font, this text to be brown. So brown and then semicolon. That is the value. Now I show you. As you can see, this image is from VS Code. Yes. So H1 slash H1. Now, as the attributes are in the opening tag of the tags. So the attribute right here is style. And then the value of the attributes have to be in the double quotes. Now, which property do we want to change? We want to change the color. It's not font color, but it's color. Color. Now, colon, what color do we want it to be? I don't think Notepad supports color names. So maybe we should try hex. Hex of brown, hex code of brown. It is, I'm going to copy this text. Copy. We'll try both, of course. As you can see, now put a semicolon after this, okay? Remember and make sure to put it. Now, HTML, text, color. Save. See, it's brown. It's this color of brown. It's this shade of brown. Now, Let's see if it works with not hexadecimal, but just normal brown. Save. It works. But the brown I use the hex value for is different than this brown. Now, we have seen how to change the color. Has everybody understood how to change the color of HTML text in HTML? Hex means hexadecimal value. Or hex is basically the color, it's like a color code. So hex value or hexadecimal value, not hexadecimal, it's like the code of brown. RGB. It's like RGB. Yes. It's just the value of brown. Yes. So let's get on with it. The font style. Font style. You can make the font style bold or okay. Has everybody understood till now? I think it's already 10:30, so we should end up here. Or if you learned too much today, you might forget the things we learned before all this. So you can practice the whole week. And now, if you have any doubts, please do ask. Also, you will be shared the notes and recording of this class soon and the code. So practice everything you have learned today this whole week. I'll send the notes and so that you can know what all we have learned today and practice it. I've taught you, but you have to practice to be good at it as well. I am also going to give you some assignment along with the notes. Please do show me your assignments next week.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all this knowledge with us and your time.
Any questions, any doubts, any queries? If there are no questions left, we can end this session. If there are, please do ask.
Ma'am, I think you have explained things pretty well and also went back and explained those things which some of us has doubt on. Hence, there are no questions, it seems. People have written in chat also. So.
Thank you so much. It was fun teaching you all. And please do attend the next session on next Sunday, 31st of July. And if you come up with any doubts while practicing through this entire week, I'll be clearing them at the start of the next session. Thank you.